simple kind of faith. We were supposed to go to Hawaii, our whole family of 7. It was the first time that we would see tropical beaches, palm trees, go surfing, and eat coconuts. It was 1985. The memories of this period are foggy at best, just glimpses of my reconciling the world, unbeknownst to me, that was unraveling before me. I remember my mom went to the doctor's office for a bladder infection. Whatever that was, I was 9. There were always doctor's appointments in my family. With 5 kids, we were always being taken to appointments for this and that. We knew every waiting room around town and where their highlights magazines were. Doctors weren't scary. Daddy was a doctor. Our dinner table discussions centered around some gruesome procedure where Dad had literally gotten his hands into someone's bowels that day. Doctors weren't scary. Tumors weren't even scary. Daddy removed them all the time. We ate spaghetti dinners, listening to stories about tumors. Then there was another doctor's appointment. You'll have to go to a friend's house this afternoon. I have another appointment. Doctors weren't scary. They fixed people just like Daddy did. My mom never looked frightened. Surely she was trembling inside. 42 years old, 5 kids, cancer. Cancer that required doctors we didn't have in Spokane. All of a sudden, almost overnight, Mom and Dad were leaving for LA. Grandma and Grandpa were coming to stay with us from Chicago, so Mom could see the doctors at a special hospital where they could take out her tumor and fix her bladder. Well, make her a new one, really. Sarah, we won't be going to Hawaii this year. Mom has to go see the doctors in California. But my best friend gets to go to Hawaii. This is what I thought about. I can't go to Hawaii. The gravity and seriousness of this illness was ungraspable to me at 9 years old. I must have seemed like such a selfish brat. Mom and Dad weren't going to be home for Easter. Grandma and Grandpa took us to Mass in our white dresses and slacks. When we got home, my oldest brother Jeff had bought me a bunny. Yay! I remember telling my mom about it on the phone. Everywhere I went. Sarah, how is your mom? Oh, darling, I'm praying for you and your family. Women at school, in the grocery store, strangers to me, reassuring me and sending prayers our way. At church, they prayed their intentions for my mom. It started to sink in that maybe this was serious. What if the doctors can't fix her? But they will. That's what they're for. When she finally came home, Dad had to be at work. I don't remember my dad during this time, other than him coming home midday once in a while and taking her to what were probably her chemotherapy appointments. Meals started coming. Sue and Christy, Mom's best friends, were over a lot. I do not remember 3rd grade. My memories of childhood are framed from before my mom got cancer and after. She couldn't go up and down stairs, so we moved her into the den, the blue room. Lots of things in our house were blue. Blue carpeting and even a blue line. This was the telephone line dedicated to the kids. My dad's phone was the white line, where he could get called at any hour of the day to speak with nurses or the answering service. We were forbidden to use the white line if Dad was home. But with 4 teenagers in the house, before call waiting, cell phones, or the internet, guess how well that worked? In the blue room, a nursing station was set up for my mom. I can remember checking in on her from the hallway. But did I ever stay by her bed and hold her hand, read a book to her, or show her my schoolwork? Did I ever tell her I loved her during those darkest days? I can't remember. I remember the bunny, I remember not going to Hawaii, and I remember the catheter. Sarah, I have a special valve now to go to the bathroom. I can't go like I used to go. The truth is, from that point forward, she would never live her life like she used to. She lives having to excrete her urine from a catheter each day. Her freedom to be spontaneous stolen, a new responsibility to bear. She cannot live or go anywhere without her catheters in tow. Each night, she has to disinfect them and pack them in her purse with clean supplies every day, no matter where she is. But she lives. She lives with chronic complications. First, it was pitting edema, chronic infections, and digestive problems. Now she lives with lymphedema, moderate kidney disease, no eyebrows or eyelashes. They never grew back. I remember her bald head. I remember diving down to the bottom of the lake, scraping up muddy sediment and forming mud pies on her scalp, her smiling as we smeared the muck on her head. I remember her many scarves, her wig, and I remember her courage. Her courage to keep going, reassuring us always, no matter the odds. And the odds were not good. Had this happened a couple years earlier, modern medicine would not have had a cure. To that we are thankful. But unfortunately, her illness fell before they had perfected the procedure to leave her urinary tract more intact, eliminating the need for the catheter. Then I remember the AIDS scare. My dad was nervous about this. She had at least 2, probably more liters of blood during surgery in LA County before screening. Remember, it was 1985. I remember how rail thin she became, her blue jeans falling off her slight figure. I remember her going back to LA more than once for follow-up visits. My other grandma coming to visit. I remember a summer of recuperation at the lake, a place of family healing, of gaining strength and giggling. Now, as I reflect, I remember the fear that still lingers, the fear of a little girl losing her mom, the fear for my dad. What will he do with 5 kids? He works too much to make us dinner and drive us to practices. Who will I go live with? And now the fear of my own mortality as a mom with young kids. This could happen to me. Will I have her courage, her strength, her resolve? Will I have the support, the faith? She did all she could to protect us from this fear, always reassuring us that the doctors were helping her. I remember our trip to Hawaii in 1986. My mom looked beautiful on the beach in her homemade swimsuit, short hair, sunglasses, and a new figure. Watching us running in the surf and eating pineapples, I can only imagine how alive she must have felt reflecting on the past 12 months of her life. Years later, when I was a young adult, volunteering and living in East Africa, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She survived that too. In the African bush, she came to see me, her catheters in hand. I asked her once why she never donned a pink ribbon and got into the race for the cure, or why she never became proactive about her survival. She claims she never identified as a survivor, that her breast cancer was easier compared to her ordeal with bladder cancer. But really, it was the rhetoric that embodied too much anger and conflict around fighting cancer that she didn't identify with. She claimed that with both cancers, she never really had to fight. She simply had to keep faith and believe. Believe the doctors would fix her, believe in a God that would help out, and believe she would live. Somehow, it was really that simple to her. So tonight, I'd like to honor my mother on Mother's Day with this bouquet, because she's sitting right here, alive and well.